double today. He's also walked. He's 1 for 2. And a high fly ball to deep right field. Did he do it? Did he do it? He did it! It's a 3-run walk-off home run for Garrett Stubbs.
They continue to do it. Coffer had his shot blocked by Hedman. Score! Burakovsky on the follow-up, and Game 1 goes to the Avs in overtime. The puck's on the turnover. Nichushkin forces the turnover. Coffer's shot is blocked, and then Nichushkin one-touches that pass, and after Hedman had blocked the initial shot, he's now deep, and he doesn't have his stick in the pass lane, so Nichushkin's able to gather it, pass it.
Oh, man. What a game, y'all. What a game. This is interesting to see your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, and some gambling occasionally. Colorado wins in overtime. This game, so fun game, ugly game, then it became a good game, and my goodness, star power in this one. You can watch my mug. Let me just trim my beard and get a haircut, but that's all the way over there. I don't want to do that. You can watch it on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube. Like, rate, review, subscribe. If you like it, force everyone to listen to the show, and I will try harder. The more people that listen, the harder I will try. I promise. Coming up today, we have stuff, including a Hall of Fame battle in the media, and we're talking about golf. But we're going to talk about, to begin with, the Stanley Cup playoffs, which started last night on ESPN at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is reasonable, I suppose, because it was played in Colorado. I don't love it. And I want to thank Burakovsky, the Avalanche, who scored. The Avalanche, whatever. The guy that scored, I want to thank him for doing it so quickly into overtime. It happened less than 3 minutes into overtime, which is awesome. Star power was out and looking good. Cale Makar did not produce anything statistical, I believe. But he looked good. McKinnon looked good for the Avs. And for the Lightning, the goalie, who is the best player on the ice for either team, maybe him or Makar. I mean, there's just like everybody here is good. The narrative of this is becoming, to be a dynasty, you got to beat the dynasty. Now, Colorado has had a couple years where they were very clearly good, and they didn't get it done. Last year, they were the best team in the NHL, and they did not advance. And they got beat by Vegas, who then got beat by Montreal, who was not good and got crushed in the Cup Finals against Tampa. Tampa is going for their third straight Stanley Cup championship. This is their fourth appearance in the Stanley Cup since 2015. So they appeared in 2015. They made a run in 2016, didn't get that far. Made a run in 2017, didn't get that far. Got swept in, I think, 2018 or 2019 as the best regular season team of all time. And now they won 2 Stanley Cups in a row. Colorado has a team that, they need a better goalie. Their goalie is not good, but they have a team that could be a dynasty for a while. But to be a dynasty, you got to beat the dynasty. I don't remember the last major league or major sports team in North America to three-peat. I believe, I could be wrong, I think it was the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. I think. I don't quote me on that. It doesn't really happen a lot in baseball, or actually any sport. It's never happened in football. Avs win 4-3 in overtime. What a great game. What a great game. Let's move on to Major League Football. Actually, we could just touch on the Philadelphia Phillies for a moment. They win in walk-off fashion. There was the backup catcher, JT Realmuto, he's not the best catcher in Major League Baseball, but he's the best hitting catcher in Major League Baseball. I don't care how old he is. Yadier Molina is the greatest catcher of all time. I will say that. I don't care. But Realmuto is great. The Phillies fired manager Joe Girardi, promptly won 7 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, which would be good if the Braves weren't 10-0 in their last 10 games. But the Phillies are a fun story in professional baseball. Everyone's kind of enjoying this. The other story in pro baseball is the Yankees. My God. They have a 9-point lead, a 9-game lead on the second-place team. My goodness. Really good shit from the New York Yankees. All right, let's move right along. Everyone's talking about LIV Golf, which is the Saudi-funded, mostly European golf tour. What they have done is they realize that we like golf. The PGA Tour feels like a monopoly. Let's just pay these guys an ass ton of money to play golf for us. Now, this is where it gets weird. In golf, we've long said, and I'm one of these people, most fans care about the Players' Championship, which is the one with the island green in Florida, the Ryder Cup, and then mostly the 4 majors, which are in order: the Masters, now the PGA Championship, then the U.S. Open, which is this weekend, and then the British Open or the Open Championship. Those majors are not PGA Tour events. They are their own separate business ventures, which means that if the PGA Tour suspends the guys that go to the LIV Tour, they are still more than welcome to play in the major golf tournaments if they're invited by that tournament. The Masters, I mean, you think about the logistics of this. The Masters and the Open Championship in the United Kingdom are not going to give a fuck about what the PGA Tour thinks. They're just not. Like, why? Like, we're older and better than you, so we're going to do what we want. A lot of the LIV guys are going to play in the U.S. Open this weekend, and the LIV wouldn't work if it didn't let those guys do that. Everybody wants to win majors. How many tour wins does Tiger have? Who cares? How many major championships does he have? So now you've got a problem, because if you're paying these golfers so much more money than the PGA Tour is paying them, and based on like purse, so there are a couple guys that one of which I think went to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. I don't know. He's got a bunch of mutual friends in my Twitter feed. That's not a good golfer. He took like 40th at the PGA and made like more money than he'd ever made. Like, he's on the fringe of like, if he doesn't make it, he'll have to become a coach and things. He can go to LIV and become a millionaire. He could become a millionaire. Now, the bunch of press in the United Kingdom are asking them, how do you justify this for how Saudi Arabia is funding like essentially terrorism, and they're assassinating journalists, and they don't really consider women to be people? That's all true. How can you reconcile that? And they're answering it like, you know, whatever. But like the logistics of this, like the ethics are, take the money. If you're selling out, sell out. That's how, I mean, I always believe that. Then the more you think about it, you're like, who the hell are you, England, to tell me about slavery and treating women as second-class citizens and assassinating people you don't like? Just because like they're doing it now, like corporations are corporations, man. The Sackler family got the entire country, the entire world addicted to heroin again. It's just a little ethical conundrum. And if you're about your money, like if the difference in your annual salary is 100,000 to $1 million, there's not a conversation to have. There just isn't. A lot of people making fun of Phil Mickelson because it looks like he has a gambling debt he has to pay. Which is gambling debt. No, gambling debt. See, I caught myself there. Alas, we have some basketball news ahead of the NBA Finals. Fake Klay Thompson, you see him right there. He's been an internet sensation. He went through multiple layers of security, allegedly 5. They call him Fake Klay. And he was shooting on the court in Warriors gear for 5 to 10 minutes before people recognized him. 5 to 10 minutes. Unbelievable. Congratulations, buddy. You are the man. But now he's been banned from the arena for life. And the entire internet's like, why? Well, what are you doing? This guy's awesome. I think it's pretty sweet. We can't let this president. Like, dude, president. Get the fuck out of here, president. Give you precedent. Game 6 is tonight. It's in Boston. Game 6 tonight in Boston. I believe the Celtics are favored by 3. Let's make sure that fan duel. I had this pulled up, but then I had to refresh it, and now it's just being slow. So FanDuel Sportsbook, and I think the Boston's favored by 3. I could be wrong. Come to me. Boston's favored by 4. Yeah. Okay, so that's dumb. I would bet on the Warriors myself to just close it out. Experience matters so much in this, like not panicking matters so much. I like the Warriors to finish it out. Also, Boston winning, they would be one of the worst NBA Finals champions in a long time. Like last year, Giannis' all-time great. Like, nobody will really remember this Boston team. This playoffs has been weird and crappy, and it really has not been. It frankly has not. It has not been that enjoyable. It's been a really weird, strange ride, and I'm actually kind of rooting for the Warriors because I hate Boston a lot. I hate them a lot as a fan base and stuff, but also it just isn't a cool story. They people don't beat the Celtics; they beat themselves. The Warriors are kind of like that. It's just not a good year for pro basketball. We are clearly in a year of transition from the old guard of elite talent to the new guard, and it's coming. Luka and Ja Morant, all these guys are freaks. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. We will preview the U.S. Open and the College World Series coming up tomorrow. Starts in Omaha during working hours, so you can slack off at work and watch some college baseball if you're so inclined. Let's get you out of here. Nice, quick, easy episode today. Not a lot going on. That's why we're going on a hiatus. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about this Hall of Fame thing. Bruce Smith. who was a left tackle for the Jaguars, who should be a Hall of Famer. He is, Bruce Smith, who's a former edge rusher for the Bills. Tony Boselli is the left tackle for the Jaguars. Bruce Smith took to social media to advocate against Tony Boselli's Hall of Fame candidacy. So Tony Boselli, people have long said should be in the Hall of Fame, but Bruce Smith, he has this lengthy statement. I can bring up parts of it. Doesn't really fit on the screen because of the way that Twitter works. But look at it. Like, it's just like one picture after another. They're like over and over. Like, look at all these pictures. Look at them all. So here are his final thoughts. I'll read this part. Tony was a formidable opponent during his brief career, love it, but I find it difficult to compare the totality of his body of work with those of the NFL's greatest left tackles, capitalizing left and tackle. With the exception of the legendary Anthony Munoz, Jonathan Ogden, Willie Rofe, and Walter Jones, all protected the blind side of the quarterback for 12 seasons or more. In Jacksonville, Leon Searcy bore the arduous task of protecting Mark Brunell's blindside because Mark was a lefty. Tony played left tackle. Tony Boselli played left tackle, but Mark Brunell was a lefty. That meant his blindside was the right side. During my 19 years in the NFL, several outstanding left tackles, such as Bruce Armstrong, Richard Webb, and Will Wolford, all had stellar games against me. Perhaps they too should be in the Hall of Fame for highlighting that fact. So his general argument is that having a short-lived run of success in the playoffs, which Tony Boselli famously did, should not be enough to get him in the Hall of Fame. A lot of the writers want him in the Hall of Fame because the Jaguars are largely underrepresented. They had two good teams, one of which was like their first season in the 90s, and now they're fighting about it in social media. So that's happening. Not a lot else to comment on. Now we'll get you out of here. We have one highlight and one clapback on the internet. No hitter for Tyler Anderson in the top of the ninth inning. 1-2 count, one on, and our man, the best athlete in professional sports, Shohei Ohtani, breaks it up.
Ohtani. That's a line drive.
Drilled it.
Betts won't get there, and Ohtani breaks up the no-hitter with 1 out in the ninth inning.
The triple, man.
He does it with a triple.
Man, he is good. It's Los Angeles Angels versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, just an utter nightmare. The Premier League released its fixtures. Everybody on the internet talking about who's going to play who and when today. But you can talk about J.J. Watt. DraftKings yesterday. So here's J.J. Watt tweeting a picture of himself throwing a football. DraftKings tweets intercepted. J.J. Watt claps back with what? A screenshot of their stock performance over the last year. Stock performance that appears to have fallen from around $50 per share to about $12 per share. He said, you might want to think about intercepting some profits sometime soon. Bam, got him. That's going to do it. Back and better than ever. Previews and whatnot tomorrow.